And we are live. What's up, everybody? I'm Jay from Leprechaun TV, and you're watching another episode of The Hot Seat, where we light the fire underneath our guest's seat and give them hot grilling questions. And this week we have Eric from ThomasMetal75 in the house, also known as Massachusetts Beer Reviews.
Cheers.
If you see that over on Facebook, TikTok, or Instagram, or Twitch, or TubeBuddy, or OnlyFans, you know, he's all over.
What?
He's all over the place, guys. What's up, Eric?
What's going on? Cheers. Cheers to the
Cheers, man.
chat in the panel. Nice to be
I know
here. Thanks for having me.
I know you're rushing home from band practice.
Yup.
Sucks. I apologize for that. I didn't mean to press you for time. Look, he's catching up on lost time with beers and food.
Yup. You know it.
But yeah, so if you can give the people in the chat and the rewatchers a little bio about yourself, a little history, born, live, what you do for a living.
Sure.
With some hobbies, you know, just introduce yourself to everybody.
Got it. Sure thing. Beer reviewer, ThomasMetal75. I run a program on YouTube on the ThomasMetal75 channel of YouTube called the Massachusetts Beer Reviews. I am from the southeastern part of Massachusetts, about 35 minutes north of the border of Rhode Island. And yeah, you can check us out where I'm live every Wednesday night at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. And I host the Wildcard Wednesday on my channel, ThomasMetal75, which is bring a beer, wine, or spirit, or really any alcoholic adult beverage. Let's have some fun and just don't be a douche. Yeah, that's about it. So I review mostly beer. I've been getting into the whiskey reviews. I haven't really done. I think I did one review where I tried 3 blind tastings of vodka. That was interesting. Other than that, yes, I think Square Table. I think Joey talked about. I do play in a Massachusetts traditional doomy metal band called Oxblood Forge. You can check out Oxblood, the color, Forge, as in forged in fire, which we do have a song named that. You can check us out on Bandcamp. We're on Instagram, Twitter. We're on everywhere you can stream music and you want to buy music. You can find Oxblood Forge if you like Iron Maiden and Black Sabbath and 80s metal. That'll be a good time. Yeah. So I play drums in that. I play drums in that band. I've been playing drums since 1999, and then I've been playing guitar a lot less time than that. I don't know when I started playing guitar. 2004, 5. My brother had a guitar lying around, and me being a drummer, I wanted to learn what that thing was about. So I play that. I play some piano, keyboard. What else do I do for fun? Play music, and that's not really it, but that's pretty much my life is consumed by music, pretty much. If I wasn't a YouTuber doing beer-related reviewing and whatnot, I would be trying to figure out stuff musically. That's what I'm really mostly passionate about in this world. But you're finding me on the YouTubes doing the beer reviewing stuff. So cheers, everybody. Yeah, it's a little background history on that.
Yeah. So everybody's saying hi to you. We got David Fogg from your Western Mass talking about the snow that's about to hit.
We're getting somewhere. The snow amount seemed like it's going up from about 12 to 18. It might be upwards of 2 feet at this point, 2 or 3 feet. Nobody really knows, do they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of beer guys showing up, man. I appreciate it. We got Lone Star, RM Cars in the house.
Cheers.
Ozzy. I seen Ozzy Commerce.
Ozzy. Cheers and cheers, Joe.
Matt J's in the
And
house.
Ozzy.
Yeah.
Cool.
We got some heavy hitters showing up tonight. What's up,
Awesome.
Matt J? Yeah. Joey, he wanted to know if you could twirl the drumsticks.
I don't have a drumstick in front of me, but I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm more likely to drop it.
I think that's the first thing you learn.
Performance, I'm more likely to drop the damn stick. So I try to let the drum playing speak for itself more than being really show-ody. Yeah.
Yeah, that's I think that's probably the first thing you learn when you grab a drumstick is try to twirl it.
Yeah, you try to Hello, David. Hi. That's my buddy David Rombell.
How you doing, Dave? You're on the hot seat.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose that's one of the first things you learn. You twirl the don't twirl the stick unless you can do it in some kind of time. If you can't do it and it takes away from your drumming, you stop that immediately.
Oh yeah, you can't be missing time because the drummer's all about timing.
Oh, yeah, I kind of try to look at myself. I mean, not like I'm not saying the leader, right? But everybody, whatever you do, people are gonna be following. People have to kind of follow what you do. You kind of have to right the ship. In other words, right? Mm-hmm. Kind of like when you're hosting your own YouTube channel, you got to make sure you're righting the ship, making sure all the Russian spam bots are going away and everything's flowing freely. Otherwise, it makes for a really shitty program and an uninteresting performance by your band.
Yeah. Because the drummer's all about timing. You got to keep. Yep. You're the metronome of the band. You know.
I mean, Tommy, the drummer is one of the most critical components exactly of any band. It's one that starts because once you go from drumming, then it goes to the bass. Then from bass at that current point in time, it goes to guitars. And exactly from guitars at that current point in time, too, as well, it feeds directly to the vocals. So, yet again, it's a complete linear streamline, but yet again, you have to follow the layer of progression. If you don't, exactly, it gets massively fucked up.
What he said. Exactly. Yes, Dave.
Are you in the band, too?
Nope. I can't play a lick. Yet again, I've worked in the entertainment industry for over 15 years, and I know how it begins and I know how it ends.
Nice.
Stagehand at our local Xfinity Center, which is our local, what is it, like 23 or so thousand seat amphitheater, yeah?
Local 11 for the Union, and it's 22, depending on exactly how much people want to fit in the grass.
There you go. Nice.
But yeah, that's the way it generally works for any type of really band. It always begins at drums, and then exactly feeds into bass.
Yep.
And then from there, you get guitar.
Right.
You use one or two, and then if you want to use vocal, you get to use vocal. But yet again, it has to start at a very firm bass.
Sure.
If you don't get that done, then you're screwed.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Cheers.
Cheers. I'm drinking a Treehouse Brewing Company from Charlton, Massachusetts. This is their Galactic Storm double. You can pause that and read that, people, if you need to. Double IPA, what is it, 8.8%. Here's what it looks like. It's one of those hazy beers from New England. There you go.
Oh, I'm doing the very green.
Very green.
Green Treehouse.
Nice.
So Joey had a good question. Your YouTube channel name is ThomasMetal75, but your name is Eric.
That is my legal name, Eric, E-R-I-K, yeah. Yep.
So
you want to know the answer to that question? Why in the hell is that my name on the internet, right? All right. I gotta explain this one really fast. My brother was in a band once, and I ended up joining the band at one point in time on the drums. But their old drummer, his name was PJ Bradford. We used to practice in this basement before it was finished here. He got to practice one day while all of us were still in high school. He probably was either graduating or just out of high school. He was stoned off of his ass for whatever reasoning, and he comes over to the house, this guy PJ Bradford, and he goes, you look like a Thomas, so everybody started calling me Thomas for some dumb reason. That's the story in that.
Okay.
Obviously, I like metal, and if you want good username on internet, apparently everybody on AOL had to add a number. So 75 is my house number. Well, there you go.
Okay. Nice.
Back in the day on AOL, you had to have your name with a series of numbers, right?
Still do these days.
Cheers.
What's up, Web? Cheers.
Thomas Smith or something like that. Congratulations. There's probably like 50 bajillion abbreviations for that.
No one's going to find me on the internet if my name's Thomas Smith. Thank you very much.
Yeah, because you know how many Thomas Smiths you have to go through to find the correct one?
Exactly. Yeah.
A lot of them.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Hey, whoever did that $20 donation, thank you for donating to Leprechaun.
Yeah, that's your fellow statesman there, Mr. David Falk.
Nice. Cheers, David.
Western Mass.
What is your all-time favorite beer to drink?
Steel Rail drink up, boys. BBC Steel Rail.
What is Carla says, what is your all-time favorite beer to drink in? Do you remember your first beer that you drank? First beer that I ever drank probably was like a Miller Lite or something. That's usually what's been around in my house traditionally for beers.
Sounds all right.
What's my favorite beer? I mean, I like all these stupid New Englandy hazy beers that have some bitterness, but not extremely bitter. I guess the first beer, like Trillium Congress Street's probably my favorite one. One of those New England IPAs. But one of the first beers that I got into that made me really want to drink beer was a beer called a Young's Double Chocolate Stout from England. Kind of like a Guinness, but had some milk chocolatey flavors. And that got me used to the fact that, beer can actually have flavor. Okay, let's go down that rabbit hole. So I've been doing it on the internet ever since 2012.
Yeah, sounds all right.
Yeah. Man.
That was a good one. We got Floyd Allen in the house. Wild Turkey or 1800.
Which one would I rather drink? Probably Wild Turkey over tequila, but that's probably not. I don't think it's bad tequila at all. No,
it's not. But that's a good question. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wild Turkey stuff is just good. That's a good whisk. That's a good.
You do some reviews on whiskeys and bourbons too, also, right?
I've been getting into that lately. I've drank it in the past, but I feel like over the course of the last year, I've been really getting more and more into it. My father really likes that stuff, and he'll have some stuff lying around. We got a little collection at the house now, so Scotch, bourbon. I'm getting more and more into bourbon. The Scotch thing with the malts was more like reminded me more beer with the malty flavors, but I like the desserty flavors of bourbon. I'm starting to get into that. I don't know how to rate bourbons and whiskeys as well as beer, so apologize. Keep up with that. I'll figure it out one day.
Just a learning progress, right?
Learning experience. Yeah.
Cheers.
Well, I mean, you're pretty good at explaining what you are tasting, you know. Mm-hmm. So it's not like you're doing a bad job, and actually you're going into it blind, so you're giving an honest 100% review of it.
Yeah, it's whatever's on the top of my head. It hits my tongue. I'm not. Some people in the whiskey community, I can think of one person particularly that's in Scotland. But some people like to write down all these notes, and then when they go into the review, they'll write down the notes. I think if you go to the About page on the ThomasMetal75 channel, I wrote something along the lines of, it's a real live review. What you hear me say is what's basically coming out of the top of my head at the time. I'm going to review the product that day, and this is the notes that I'm giving you that day on that review. If I drink this beer, I don't know about this beer, but if I drink this beer in 2 weeks again and have another can, I might say the same thing, but slightly differently. But it might come out the same. It might be a little different. It depends on the day.
So, Tom, I have a question for you.
You have a question, David. Uh-oh.
So, again, you and I have been drinking beers for many years. Many years.
From the same channel.
Yeah. So, I guess the luxury point of the question I got to say is, like, have you felt exactly your palate evolving, and has it changed the way you perceive certain beers after the first time you tried them?
Oh, Jesus, yeah. Since 2012, when I really started drinking beer, either through YouTube or through like a website called Beer Advocate, when you do reviews over time, it's like a journal, right? You can see a timestamp on every video you do on YouTube, and you see a timestamp on every review you've done either on Beer Advocate or ratebeer.com or an app called Untapped. You can see when you reviewed something and what you thought about it at that time. And then what's really cool is if you drink some of those same exact beers, or some of those styles, you go, huh, that's interesting. I didn't know much about that. I didn't rate that very highly, but now I rate that really high.
Right. And we used to talk about that. I remember hearing that when we were on that show. What's the ABV? Chugs ran that show, and there was something that you guys were talking about where you could go back and say, hey, when I first tasted this beer, this is what I felt and what I was tasting, and now you
getting into these IPAs and all these Belgian beers that have really funky yeasty qualities to them it's kind of hard. Was very hard at first. There's like some of these beers, even like barrel-aged beers, kind of have a really acquired taste that if you're not used to it or you've never really had it before, it's a little hard just to jump into it. And the whiskey is too, because it's so alcoholic at first to a novice. But the more you try of these styles and these whiskey varieties, the more your palate adjusts to it, and the more either you can determine if it's really for you, or you know what, I really just don't like it. No one has. Yeah. The great thing about the internet and reviewing is that no one should be forcing you to like or think in a certain way. It's your own review. It's your own review. Like what you like and rate it how you want.
My thing is I've been smoking, so it already changes my taste buds. So I might hit a different note than the next person that never had, you know what I mean? Like never found that note in something. So either that, or it might be a lighter or a heavier taste. Who knows? I stick to Mickey's, so I get the same taste every day.
Do you think smoking over time, like I don't know,
it kills your taste buds
like
for sure.
Like you're missing out on like some bitter aspects to foods or something, or how that change?
I'm always craving something sour or vinegary, like in food, vinegary. So like dill pickles or peppercini peppers, just something like that. You know what I mean? So my palate is probably starving. Yeah, for sure. I'm killing it with the with the cigarettes. Speaking of, I'm gonna smoke me one right now. But tasting beer is cool. You know what I mean? I don't mind it. We got a few actually new breweries near me that I'm actually gonna go out and hang out, peep the scene, see what it's all about, try some beers, and hopefully I capture some of that reaction on camera.
Your reaction of your experience, yeah.
Yeah, well, the thing is, when you go to these places, there's loud music being played, and in our field here, music is frowned upon. So
copywriting, they'll take your audio down. You'll leave the video up, but your whole audio will be, you'll see you going like this, and the audio will be nothing.
Bumpy wants to know if you are eating ramen.
No, I am. Can I even show? Ooh, there's the beer. I'm doing some. Was this on the grill? I think at my house we did it in the oven. Ooh, oven roast. Oh my god, I dropped it.
Holy shit! Could I see that one coming?
Oven roasted salmon and asparagus. I think that's with some Parmesan and just some chicken long grain style rice over yonder.
Nice.
Ooh, with
I'm not a seafood guy, but that looks like you did it right.
Hell yeah! And if you do it outside, I like to soak the planks of wood. Either you get a cedar plank or I don't know. I don't really know the difference. I can't really think of the difference in flavor, but you can use cedar planks, and I've had alder wood. Sometimes you go to Home Depot and they have alder wood planks for grilling meats or fish. Yeah, for smoking meats and fish. I think it's pretty. I think the alder wood has a woody kind of a smokiness to it, but it's pretty. I think it's pretty inoffensive. It's not like a heavy flavor.
Yeah, you're talking about that cedar plank.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it does give you a little more depth to the flavor of the salmon, for
and
sure.
I'm a kind of a person that does like the skin on the salmon. I know a lot of people don't, but I do like that.
Oh, my man. So Dave usually has his question, and it's about food. It's it is what is your most favorite thing to cook, and what is your least favorite thing to cook? So now we're going to switch it up and we're going to add beer. What is your favorite beer to drink, and what is your least favorite beer to drink?
Oh,
that could be an actual beer itself, or it could be a brand, or it could be a style. You know what I mean? That's up to you how you want to answer that one.
I can tell you definitively. I mean, legitimately, there's probably worse beers on the market, but this one's pretty on the bottom of the barrel. In the category of this beer, I would 120% of the time drink a Mickey's over this one I'm going to call Steel Reserve 211. That is nasty ass. That's nasty ass beer. That's Steel Reserve 211. That's the 8.1% version. We don't get that 6%. Some people get 6% version around the United States. We get an 8.1. The first time I ever drank it, I said it tasted like bromated butter. I don't even know what that means. It is very buttery, sweet, grainy, corny nastiness. That is not good. Mm-hmm. But I would rather drink a Mickey's. I think that's a really good malt liquor. But the best beer we talked about again is, I think I said it was Congress Street by a brand called Trillium Brewing Company. But I'll even go one step further. If I were to drink, I think we talked about this on somebody's channel. Maybe it was a Bumpy Road Monday night. If I was to drink one beer for the rest of my life, it would probably just be a Guinness Draft. I could just drink that easily without any. As long as the tap is clean, if we're taking it out of the tap and it's the nitrogen tap system, as long as the tap is clean and it doesn't taste funky, that's the one beer I would drink for the rest of my life and be pretty happy.
Well, they actually send bartenders and barmaids to school on all of that for the Guinness. Yeah.
You got to go to Iowa cool. Basically firsthand of how it's done properly.
There's some 6-step process to how to pour the beer. One of them is to have a clean glass.
Right. Clean glass, a clean spout, and heavy head, and let it sit.
Oh yeah.
You order a Guinness now, you're gonna get it 5 minutes from now. You know what I mean?
That's probably your favorite beer of all time, right?
No, I'm not a fan of Guinness. I am not a fan.
Guinness exactly what I would go to.
Yeah.
Always prefer to get in a can, but not in a bottle. First
can over bottle at home.
And otherwise, too, as well, take probably on draft and just let them take their time with it. Worst beer I ever had, though, Ice House. Dear God.
Oh, you don't like Ice House?
I would use that beer for trap shooting, man.
No. Never had Ice House.
I remember having it once, too, as well. I nearly just puked it out of my mouth, too. I'm like, I never had something so bad, like, ever. And I did have the Steel Reserve, man. Like, this took a whole new level of bad.
So you would actually logic, but all right.
Yeah, you would. So you're saying you would take Steel Reserve over Ice House?
I would.
Yikes! Fucking yikes!
And I'm not retracting my words.
I'm with you on that one.
Oh my God, it's just so.
Question for Eric.
Yep.
From Jules, the one and only Jules.
Jules, you're asking loaded questions here. Do I enjoy the enjoyment level? Holy fucking shit! I enjoy music. Next,
Yeah.
I enjoy playing drums in the band that I'm in, and I enjoy playing drums because that was my first musical endeavor, and that's my first love, and I've been doing it since 1999. Some days, to be completely honest, some days, and it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really matter here, right? But some days I feel like, oh, I'm playing guitar maybe a little better than the drums. And then I go, some days I'm playing those drums really better than the guitar. I think it kind of depends on the day of the week, what's going on. I feel like I don't know if this is an obvious part of the question here, or the statement here, but I feel like I'm more creative on the guitar, which gives me a lot of enjoyment. And we here in Oxblood Forge, we have a Google, we have a Gmail email that we use for whatever we need it for, and we also utilize Google Drive. We utilize Google Drive. So if I'm noodling on a guitar at home and I go, wait a minute, that was kind of cool. I have a folder inside of Google Drive called Tommy's Tunes, and I'll stick an idea in that Google Drive folder with an actual video of it, and people can kind of take and choose what they want out of it, or one of our members of the band will go, that's kind of cool. You got to post that in the Drive. So I really enjoy pretty much both equally, but it depends on the day of the week where I'm at mentally. Am I playing guitar better than drums one day or the other? That's where the enjoyment comes from. But I enjoy it both almost equally, really.
And he still plays both of them pretty damn well, too.
Thank you.
Right. I enjoy both, but I like when he plays the guitar because he don't really sing. He'll play a couple riffs and he'll move on to the next song. So for Mrs. Lepp and I, we were jamming with him the one night, and we were guessing what song it was, and we were putting it in the chat as he was playing. I think that would be a great segment for your show, for your channel, that you can make it a show. That you can make it a show. Believe me, it's awesome. But music is a mood thing, and if you are feeling down, I'm sure you want to hammer on them drums.
When I'm feeling down, some angry music. When I'm feeling down, I don't want to. I'm not looking for some love ballad or all around me surrounds me. No, I'm not looking for. I'm looking for maybe Hatebreed, maybe Slipknot. What's in the Cleveland, Ohio area? Dead to Fall or I don't know, something kind of heavy and just nasty. I don't know. I don't want to.
I know a band from Cleveland called Cursed.
Hello.
And
your uncle's band. Yeah, man. Oh, yeah. Cleveland. Mushroom Head.
Yes, Mushroom Head. Yes. Which Slipknot prevailed from their gimmick. They took their gimmick and ran with it. It went to Hollywood.
It's very
way before Mushroom Head made it. Mushroom Head, they did make it, but they aren't as big as Slipknot. No way. Not even close. Yeah.
They had a falling out with their singer Waylon something or other. Yeah.
They started changing group members.
What was the dangerous part when he started screwing the band like that?
Yeah, I remember in the 90s when they first started, like it was during my high school days, and they were very popular just here.
And like the club circuit and stuff.
Yeah, they would play local venues and but they never grew. It's like they only stayed right here, sort of like another Cleveland legend, Michael Stanley Band.
Oh, okay.
Never made it out of the Rust Belt, which is Midwest area,
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, it's it's hard for these bands to get out of Cleveland. Honestly, it seems like
it's just hard in general. I think it's just hard in general. And the one thing you don't want to do, the one thing you don't want to have happen to you, and again, like I said it once, and what I'm saying here is that you shouldn't. This is how I feel. You shouldn't have all the answers, right? You should know. I know exactly to a T how this works. It's exactly to a T, meaning you know how this is successful. You know how this is going to go to be successful, right? Bullshit. Yeah. But what I'm saying here is that you shouldn't just sign on the dotted line to the point where okay, so you sign this. One version of a record deal is called a 360 deal, whereas you're getting the full kit and caboodle treatment from your record label. However, they're not paying for every single aspect of what you're doing. They're not paying for every single aspect of your recording, you going on tour, you doing the music videos or whatever, you're doing all the media and you're doing all the meet and greets and whatever it is. You're ending up, it's like getting a bank loan or getting basically for a car or a house. You're so obligated for a bunch of that money to pay back to your record label. So don't think of this as
it's in advance. It's what it is.
It's in advance. You got to pay back later on, and with interest, pretty much. So rainbows and sunshines and unicorns. Fuck that idea. There's a lot of people. The band Periphery rings a bell to me, where it's a fairly successful band in the metal and in the modern metal community, but most of those guys do other things to supplement their income within the musical community. They work with musical product companies and people that make gear or guitar pedals, or they have their own signature guitars with different brands, or they work in the recording industry with different manufacturers of recording software or plugins for studios and whatever, and they're supplementing their income that way because they know for a fact that when we go on these tours, even in Europe, you can't live off of just a tour or two for what we're calling a mid-tier band. If you're Metallica, whole different story. If you're Mushroomhead, you are not surviving as an income. Your income is not just touring for Mushroomhead. It cannot be like a band like that.
No, you got merch, you get a hope exactly too as well, and you get other things too as well that kind of help balance.
Mostly when you're on tour, if you can sell your merch and you can sell your music and your physical copies of your music, and you can do it really well, that's what's making you money. Really,
merch is huge. Merch is huge.
So don't quit your day job, and always have a backup plan, which is the unfortunate part of music.
Yeah, for sure. You put all your eggs in one basket, sometimes you end up with no eggs at the end of the day. But so with the Cleveland scene, that podcast that I had on Level Up Cleveland, he's been doing a lot of interviews with local up and coming metal bands in the Cleveland area. So might want to go give him a follow and check out some interviews that he's doing. Actually, I am headed to his studio this Saturday at 2:00. I am taking my Bourbon County Stout.
Ooh, I got one. I got one of those at home. Yeah,
I got two. So what's going to happen is I'm going to take both of them, and we're both going to sit down and drink them and have a good interview, and we'll go from there.
So you guys are having tea time.
Tea time, yeah.
Yeah, he's a bourbon guy, so that's why I wanted to take it. He's never had one, so
that'll be a treat for him. 100%. He'll like that.
Yeah, he's a bourbon guy.
A little thicker than bourbon, but he'll like that.
Yeah, and have
a meal beforehand. It's a big beer.
I'll get to meet a lot of good people behind the scenes. You know what I mean? Like it's at the practice facility. It's called Level 5. So there's 5 floors.
Wow, I like that.
Of band rooms.
Sounds like a club. Level 5.
Yeah. I mean, you could walk down the hallway and hear 40 different bands. You know what I mean?
Same deal where I practice in Taunton, Massachusetts. It's called Bandstand Live. Yep. Same difference. And the owner, Matt Scurfield, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. I think he generally tries to gauge a guess and try to put like-minded bands in the same style in the same hallway, so music doesn't clash. Because I mean, for God's sakes, rock and roll isn't necessarily quiet. You turn up your amps and you got to play with drummers and bass players and PAs for a singer. It's gonna get a little loud, so they don't want to put a I don't know. They don't want to put Paramore next to like Slayer or something in the hallway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or Mushroom Head next to
Beachy or something like that.
yeah, Mushroom Head next to Pavarotti or something, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
That's not what they're trying to do.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers. Yeah, cheers. We got a bunch of new people that showed up. Kyle's in there. Tommy. I missed Tommy earlier. Thanks for showing up. Cheers. We got Dio, Drunken One showed up.
Dio. I think he's
Blake TV showed up.
Blake. He loves Blake.
Blake TV.
Still hanging, Blake? You're still hanging.
7.5, Blake.
7.5.
If you know anything about online beer drinking, you'll know what 7.5 means in the Blake TV community.
Yeah.
Inside
joke. We got Ryan from Barbecue Blackstone and Beer. Follow his page on Facebook. Follow him on TikTok. He gets a lot of people that come through with beer and drinks along with the food.
Cool.
You know, and that's the thing is food and beer go together. So how did that beer pair with your dinner tonight?
I like IPAs or double IPAs with salmon. I think I've done it before and it's come out really well. I think the hoppy flavors kind of mesh well with the subtleties of the salmon without it going too overboard. And I like how it counteracts with some of the saltier qualities from the seasoning of the salmon, and it works really good. It works really good with the asparagus, and I think that's Parmesan. It's asparagus. I really like asparagus. For some people, it can be a little bit of a pungent flavor. I think a beer that's got that can really stand up to the bold flavors of the salmon and the seasoning and to your vegetables here, your asparagus. I think the beer.
It's gonna cut through all of
that. Yeah, it's gonna cut through all of that, and I think a little bit of the fattier oils of the salmon go really well, or should I say, the IPA goes really well with the fattier oils of the salmon. Definitely, the IPA is really able to cut through pungent flavors and the oily texture of the salmon, and really, I wouldn't say they clash. They're not contrasting, but they kind of, it almost like it kind of resets the palate with its malty flavor and some of that hop aspect, and the sharper flavors, So really nice palate resetter, and both the beer and the dish are bold enough to stand on their own. So nice. Yep. I always like IPAs and pale ales with seafood. I think that's a really good match. And if you have really spicy food, I think like chicken wings or just anything fried or anything that's got, like, again, a little bit of a fatty content, I think an IPA and a pale ale will just match very nicely. Just to cut through the fat and the fried textures is really nice with the hoppy beer.
Okay.
He does a really good job.
Yep.
All right. So when you're eating ramen, what's the beer of choice when you're eating ramen?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Spicy or regular? It's a big question.
Have I ever had a beer with ramen? I think the answer is probably no for some goddamn reasoning.
What about that
Wait a
spicy
minute.
gnocchi exactly that you had?
Uh,
The spicy noodles that you did?
oh, the Korean fire noodles.
Yeah, yeah.
I would go again spicy ramen. I would go with one of these IPAs here, like a chicken noodle soupy kind of a ramen. What would be good with that? I don't know, like lagers, Czech lagers, German pilsners. I guess that would be pretty good. You don't want any. I feel like if you kind of have if you don't have like a heavily seasoned or flavored ramen where you have a lot of different ingredients in it, your beer is gonna almost kind of overshine that. I think your spice level is gonna have to dictate what you want to drink with that. If you have a really spicy stir fry, like again the Samyang Korean fire noodle challenge, get you let's say get you one of those milkshake IPAs that got lactose in it. That's really gonna cut. Or like a milk stout. That's really gonna cut some of the heat in your ramen noodles.
I might go German lager if that's the case.
I would probably pick a really good lager or like a what's the one the Genesee cream ale maybe for just like a general bowl of like
Deceivingly very, very
pork
good.
or chicken style noodles.
Deceivingly very good.
Cheap beer, yeah, $13.99 for a 30-pack of Genesee.
And it's very good. It's just deceivingly good.
Yeah. There you go. That's
so,
what I would choose.
So you got something for Christmas from your sister, I believe.
Oh, I don't even have it. I should go and get it after I say this. Yeah. So my my what would you call her? Sister-in-law. Yeah. My brother's wife and my brother.
Brother's wife. Okay.
I don't know.
Great people.
They're okay. Yeah. I don't know where they acquired this. One would guess Amazon, right? They got must have been a 12-pack variety of different style ramen noodles. One of them was a top ramen. Oh wow, very adventurous. But it's like a 12-pack of ramen, and it came with I'll go grab it in a second. It came with a ceramic bowl, and there was an insert to put your chopsticks that came with it, and it holds the chopsticks together.
Right.
I mean, I've actually never had a proper bowl of ramen noodle. I've never been to like a noodle shop or anything like that. I know there are some. I know there are some in I think in the Providence, Rhode Island area. I think there's some of the Japanese restaurants where my buddy Dave and I are at. They have some ramen noodle, but it's not like it's the star of the show. One thing I've been meaning to.
It's very hard to find it. It really is.
One thing I've been meaning to try to make in my lifetime is it's called chashu, which chashu is like these little discs of like the, I don't know if it's fried, but it's these little discs of the pork, and they put it on top of the ramen noodle. And there's a whole recipe on how to what do you call it? How to no, wait a minute. It's how to do the brine and then let it sit overnight in the correct brine liquids, and then either there's a recipe to do if you're going to roll it or if you're going to do it flat. There's a whole different recipe, but there's whole different kinds of toppings you can do, and I think that would be the best way probably to eat a bowl of instant ramen is to get all these good toppings and put them on there and really spice it up. If you're only using little flavor packets, I think you're missing out on a lot of flavor that can be there.
Yeah. So lately, past what has it been? Few weeks. Actually, since you got that bowl, you and I off airs, we'll get into the rants about ramen noodles and what you could add and what you could do. So I made something for you today. I don't know if you've seen it or not, but we're gonna share it with us.
Oh damn!
I got you a little. I did you a little tribute.
That's beautiful.
Damn,
that's done proper. That's very much done proper. I salute you, sir. I salute you.
I don't have the fancy holes in the bowl though for my chopsticks.
That's right.
Yeah, wonderful. It's beautiful.
One thing
that is birria ramen. So it's a Mexican stew dish. And I took the shredded meat, which is a truck roast, added my Mexican chilies, oregano, and some bouillons and all that.
Oh boy.
So then I take the ramen, I take the juice, the broth, and I cook the ramen in that. So it takes on the flavor right there.
Holy
And
God.
then I add cilantro, green onion, jalapeno, and lime are right off rip. Then I added some cabbage, which I threw on the Blackstone and actually steamed it for a little bit.
Right.
Broke it down so it wasn't as crunchy, but it still had some body to it. And then I added a soft boiled, medium boiled egg. But I forgot radish. Radish was supposed to be in there. Yeah.
One thing I don't really like, I had a bowl of instant noodles the other day from Thailand. It was a tom yum from the Mama company. It was a tom yum creamy shrimp. I've learned that I'm not really a giant lemongrass fan. Not really.
Surprising.
I don't mind. I don't really mind. I think what I didn't really like about the lemongrass was not so much that it had like a lemony flavor, but it has like this. It has this undercurrent of like a minty flavor, the lemongrass, and I'm not. That's it. It almost was too overpowering, to be completely honest. But in a lot of Thai food, they use lemongrass almost everywhere.
Right.
Or they use like lime leaves, I think, too.
So with this Mexican recipe, it calls for cloves, bay leaves.
That sounds good.
And something else. And what happened is I don't care for those notes. You know what I mean? So I don't add them.
Oh, you don't care for the cilantro?
Cilantro's good.
Oh, okay.
I'm good with the cilantro, but the cloves and bay leaves okay, but then you got to dig it out, and it'll, if you don't have a fresh one, you use the dry one, it always breaks up and stuff. So I stopped adding that. But we always talk about different toppings and different variations of ramen you could do. You know what I mean? Like you said, it doesn't have to be just the packet, the noodle in the packet.
Hey kids.
Ooh, what do we got here? We got new ones? Or are you still on the same one? Same one?
He gave me the same exact beer. I might have to switch that one up. But
you have a hole in the glass. It'd be a terrible thing.
Let's say like 8 times out of 10. Like 8 times out of 10, if I have ramen noodles lying around, I mean, seriously, like 8 times out of 10. I'm not even it's like, say it's like a top ramen or like whatever is chicken noodle ramen or from some other brand or whatever it is. I'm not even really using the powdered packet or whatever it is. No, he's not feeding me.
Good old Tommy.
But I'm not even really using the MSG packet or the spice packet or whatever it is. I'm pretty much throwing that out, cooking the noodles, leaving a little bit of the water from the cooking liquid, and I'm making a carbonara out of it because hell, that is the perfect amount of noodle for one person, and it will cook in no time. Drop a whole egg in there, put your bacon in there, put your Parmesan cheese in there, put your cracked pepper in there.
Tammy forgot it too.
Whatever else you want after the bacon for protein. And then all you do is put it all back into the pot, turn the oven back on, turn the stovetop back on, and just mix everything up till the egg cooks. And that is, to me at least, that's what carbonara is. If you're going to add cream or something, I don't think it's really necessarily carbonara with cream and stuff like that.
And here's another trick. So if you're going to throw the packet away, which it's a great idea. If you knew what was in that packet, you wouldn't use it.
The odds be in your favor.
Yeah.
Chicken bouillon cubes, beef cubes, or buy the beef stock, vegetable stock, stuff like that, and use the stock. You know what I mean? As your boiling water. You know what I mean?
Before. I have
That'll change the flavor and the dynamics of things right off the rip.
I've used a product numerous times with good results called Better Than Bouillon. Cheers to the hole in the glass, yeah. And you put maybe I don't know what maybe like it can get pretty aggressive pretty quickly on the flavor, but use like half of a teaspoon.
Mm-hmm.
Or sorry, not teaspoon, tablespoon, half a tablespoon. That's all you need if you want to create some kind of a broth in there. And then if you have leftover, like a lot of the time, if we at my house cook like a pork loin or beef, whatever tip, maybe not tips, or like a steak or whatever it is.
Yeah,
and we have leftover strips of that. I'll just add that, and I like to cut into some green onion, and then I've never really done, and not that I don't like it. I've just never really done the whole poaching of an egg, where it's basically hard boiled, but it's got a runny center. I usually will drop the whole egg inside of it and just make sure that gets cooked fully. And that's what I have done in the past.
So you have to make sure that that's hot. You're boiling hot.
Yeah, right before the ramen is really, or even when the ramen noodle is really done, you can crack that thing and just stir it around and make sure it's white all the way through. You don't want it to have any like translucency to it.
Yeah, right. And you know,
Soup, yeah.
I think egg drop soup. We're gonna have a lot of recipes coming up.
Nice,
because you got me hooked on the ramen. So now I'm gonna be looking for ideas, trying to bring different textures and flavors into ramen. Like what if you got ramen and hot dogs? What do you do?
Ramen and hot dogs.
So hot dogs, plenty of beef at that point too, as well. So
maybe
spiciness too, as well.
I would definitely slice that hot dog super thin.
Yeah,
super thin. And I would probably throw it in a skillet, fry it up.
Slice it that thin.
Yeah.
Fry it up, and then toss it into the noodles. And then I would probably add definitely some hot sauce, sriracha, or your regular hot sauce, whatever you got.
Carolina Reaper, David. Holy crap!
I would definitely. I mean, I'm not going that extreme, but
bring the pain, baby. Bring the pain.
He just goes Carolina Reaper.
Yeah, right. But you know what I mean? What if them are the only two things you got in your house, man? I mean, you gotta come up with some creative ideas, and I'm feeling it, man. I'm definitely gonna be on the ramen kick.
Let's see what else could you possibly do as well. Maybe a little bit of hot sauce, a little bit.
Get some mustard, get some bratwurst, figure out how to put some sauerkraut in there.
Now you're talking. Yeah. Now you just spoke my language. I was gonna say for the hot dog, what are you gonna put? Mustard, ketchup, and relish in there? You know what I mean? Or chili and cheese.
Where's the sauerkraut?
Chili and cheese.
Get some
sauerkraut for sure.
Pickled vegetables would be good. Some of the ramen noodle bowls that they make, and you can get them at the grocery store. I'm trying to remember. I forget what the name of the brand is. There's a big bowl. There's some of these big bowls you can buy, like the mega bowls or whatever it is. One of them's called Taste of Asia, and it's got, I don't know how much is really in there, but it's flavored enough so you can taste. It's called it's a hot and spicy kimchi style ramen, and I like that. It's a little sweet. It's got a little bit of the sour quality to it. And I think that sour quality of the kimchi works really well if you have some spicy food, some spicier elements going on to kind of counteract some of the spice, kind of do a little contrasting. Because either you can compare, even with your food and your beer, you can compare or you can contrast. So you can compare and have like-minded flavors, or you can contrast and say, hey, I got this really spicy ramen. What am I going to put in there to really, really contrast that flavor? Sour kimchi, fermented kimchi. Right. There you go. Yeah. That'll contrast that pretty well, and it certainly does. It's one of the better commercially available ramen noodles in your grocery store.
Your
Just
local
spicy.
grocery store.
Your local
or-
grocery.
If not, order on Amazon.
Sour hot dog pennies with the ramen. Oh, that sounds good. Yeah, I'm with that,
Mhm.
dude. Sauerkraut? No, you don't like sauerkraut there? Oh, come on,
Yeah,
Carl.
yeah.
It's an acquired taste. You know, it's the way it works.
Yes.
All right, Eric. We're rolling up on the hour mark, and we're gonna wrap this up, and we're gonna go off air, and we're gonna have a party. I dropped the link for those that want to come and hang out, and
Right on.
yeah. Tommy says it. Whiskey Scout would put hot sauce on his
he would
Twinkie.
probably put,
You are definitely right about
he
that.
puts it in a shot glass and drinks it in the morning, that hot sauce.
We're all members of this phone app called Marco Polo, and you can record videos and stuff. And just the past week or two, Whiskey Scout's been showing us what he's got going on in the kitchen, and let's just say he likes to bring the heat.
Yeah.
Oh, boy, I saw this.
He brings the heat like his bourbon collection.
Oh yeah, he always has a jalapeno with every meal that he posts on the internet or on Marco Polo. Peanut butter stout, interesting, dude.
But thanks for hanging out, man, and letting all the hot seaters learn and get to know you, and hopefully they go hit that button, come around and hang out, and enjoy your shows that you have on your channel, and But we're gonna cut it short here, guys. Well, not short, but we ran an hour. And he needs a beer, and I gotta pee. So till next week, I love you guys. We're out of here. And hold the pause, because you know how long it